This practice is called Bateko breathing. It's there to regulate the nervous system, getting us out of our stress response and helping us find calm and peace in our mind and in our body. To start off with, ideally we'd like to be laying down, although this practice can be done sitting up as well. If you are sitting up, we want nice engagement, nice neutral spine. So maybe using a back support, or if you can comfortably sit up without support, just keep that length up through the spine. We want to practice for a minimum of 5 minutes ideally with this breathing technique, and consistency is key as with anything that we do. So daily practice is advised. Good thing about this, if you are doing it laying down, is you can do it in bed before your day even starts, or at the end of the day when you're winding down after a stressful day. And in our laying down position, we would like to bring some support underneath the knees, so gently lifting the knees up, placing a pillow or a bolster underneath the knees, adjusting the hips a little bit to reduce any lumbar arch. It's an option to bring the hands to the side of the body, so the back of the fingers, the back of the knuckles are touching the side ribs. It's just a tool to assist in observing the lateral breath that we're going to be maintaining. If it gets too much on the wrist, if it is too much on the wrist, by all means just remove the hands down the side of the body. And maybe rest the hands on the belly and or the chest. So when you're in your comfortable seated or laying down position, just start to bring awareness to the airflow through the nose. And just observing the coolness of the breath in, the humidity on the way out. Not for control, purely for awareness. The cooler the breath on the way in tends to identify a stronger flow of breath, more force, more effort. So we're just taking a little note of how the breath feels here, just to bring awareness to it, as we're going to be reducing that flow later in the practice. We're just making a little side note of how it feels. And dropping the awareness down into the torso and just observing where the breath is moving to. Are you breathing into your chest? Are you breathing into your belly? Can you feel the ribs expanding forwards, sideways, backwards? Again, just bringing awareness to where the breath is moving to in your body. And once we have that awareness, we're going to start to gently activate the muscles down the front of the body, around the chest, the pectorals and the belly, the abdominal muscles. Just gently engaging them to restrict the movement of the belly, moving forward and backwards or up and down. And what this does is just start to redirect the breath into the side ribs. Again, if your back of the hand is touching the side ribs, you may notice this. There's a gentle pressing against the knuckles. And what we're doing here is we're just gently reshaping the diaphragm, which is a muscle just like any other muscle. It can be activated and exercised. It can take a little bit of getting used to. So let go of perfection and get into the practice. And just maintaining that lateral breathing as best we can. If at any point the breathing gets unbearable and it's way too much for you to cope with, just release any control of the breath. Come back to a normal rhythm. Find your space of safety. Find your space of comfort. When you're ready, return back to the flow. When we're relatively comfortable with that lateral breathing into the side ribs, maintaining a minimal amount of movement through the front of the body, taking the awareness to the nostrils again, while maintaining that lateral breathing, that sidewards breathing, and start to observe the flow again in and out of the nose. And what we're aiming here is to start to reduce the sensations in the nostrils, and the breath will become longer, the in and the out will become longer, but not because we're taking in more air, just because we're slowing down the flow of air moving in and out of the body. And what we're aiming for, again, let go of perfection, but what we're aiming for is that we get to a point where we don't feel any air moving in or out of the nose. This is where the practice can become less comfortable by design. We are actively creating a stress response in our nervous system by reducing or tricking the body into thinking there's a reduction of oxygen in and out of the body. This fires up our chemoreceptors at the back of the brain, calling us, urging us to take a deep breath in. But where possible, we want to override that urge. And in overriding that urge, we gain manual control of our nervous system. We're regulating, we're overriding that stress response by maintaining that slow breath rate. And in turn, we manually activate our parasympathetic nervous system. Many believe that the autonomic systems in the body, like the heart, cannot be controlled by us. The nervous system cannot be controlled by us, but it's exactly what we're doing now. They may be automatic systems running in the background that we don't consciously control, but by using the breath, we can gain mastery over the autonomic systems within the body. Not just our heart rate, which begins to slow down when we're calm, but even our nervous systems, getting us out of our stress response and into this deep relaxation state. So staying aware of that slow movement of air in and out the nose, and staying aware of that sidewards lateral breathing in the torso. That lateral breathing in the torso stimulates the vagus nerve. As the vagus nerve is stimulated, it drops us into our parasympathetic nervous system. That slows down the heart rate. It regulates our blood pressure, and it regulates our mental activity. So all we're doing is regulating our breath rate, and in turn the body responds to the breathing. This is what calms down the system. Stay with the breath. Stay with the lateral breath. Slow down the flow and be present with each breath. Again, at any point, if it becomes unbearable, return to your normal breath and return to the breath practice whenever you're ready. And just releasing any control of the breath. Let the body just do what the body needs to do. If you feel the urge to take a nice deep breath in and flood the body with oxygen, allow it. Maybe you've already drifted off to sleep. If the body calls for you to remain calm, just stay, just be. Thank you for your time.